In 1929, an exhibit of D.H. Lawrence's paintings will be displayed publicly at the Warren Gallery in London. The response was large, fueled by the controversial nature of the artist. Headlines decried the works as gross, coarse, hideous and unlovely, and frankly disgusting in paint. 3 weeks later, it would close in dramatic fashion, 13 paintings seized under the 1857 Obscene Publications Act. While the paintings would avoid destruction, it would only be under the promise that they would never be exhibited again. So what made these paintings so offensive? What parts of them caused such anger and disgusted all those critics? Lawrence was a figure who enjoyed the subversive and different. These qualities came through in his work, and so too does this come through in his artwork. Nearly every painting Lawrence made depicted the naked form. In many ways, these depictions were crude and unrefined. Lawrence's inexperience with paint was obvious. However, despite this inexperience, they are honest expressions of his artistic vision. While these paintings are more famous for the controversy they caused, a closer analysis of the artworks themselves provides us with a unique and distinct insight into that vision. One work in particular, Dance Sketch, best demonstrates Lawrence's approach to art. Inexperienced, but ambitious, full of ideas, thoughts, and feelings towards the human body and the spaces they occupy. In Dance Sketch, two nude figures standing in a forest unnaturally contort their bodies. They are accompanied by a leaping goat. One of the figures splits the canvas in half. The left is light, the right heavy, drawing the eye towards the figure's partner, leaning suspiciously to the right. A circular composition joins the two. Despite their separate movements, their bodies are conjoined, partners in dance. Their movements are fluid, proportions of anatomy discarded, perhaps due to Lawrence's inexperience, or perhaps an intentional choice to create a sense of movement. Interesting to note is how the man's back leg seems to fade into nothing as it disappears behind the central figure. Was this simply forgotten in the name of the composition, or was the act of forgetting itself a means to create a mystery to the work, a carnal and more basic placement of the human person within nature? Nature is a character in the piece as much as the people are. A dark colour palette of natural earthy tones contrasts the pale white skin of the central figure. Two trees are foregrounded to the left, framing the otherwise empty half of the painting. In turn, this balances out the vivid movement of the right. Yes, Dance Sketch is basic, but it is undeniably interesting to look at.
The reason the English produce so few painters is not that they are, as a nation, devoid of genuine feeling for visual art. The fault lies in the English attitude to life.
These are the words of D.H. Lawrence in his essay, Introduction to These Paintings, written in 1929 about his own works. It is perhaps most telling of Lawrence's approach to art, how that, despite his basic knowledge of anatomy, his clumsy application of paint and colour, he expressed in them what he saw missing in other English artists: genuine feeling.